Not much news going on. Other than Turkey playing games. Turkey, turkey, turkey. And I don't mean the bird. I'll tell you, Turkey just keeps throwing stuff into the game. They really want to undermine Israel. I'm completely convinced. Totally. Now they're saying that the United States and Iran are compromising on, what's up, Dusty? Are compromising on the enrichment of uranium for civilian use. That's what they're saying. They're totally trying to become the power in the region with their influence. It's obvious. And Israeli-Turkish relations aren't good. So they're doing everything they can to get in the way. Turkey's playing the game because I've seen the messages. But there's really not that much news coming out, to be honest. Everybody's like mum, other than the typical statements made by the president. I'm going to give negotiations. I told Netanyahu I want to pursue negotiations. It's the same old thing. So nothing really new. I'm not surprised. Good morning, Petros. What did he post 1 hour ago on True Social? The missiles got to be on the table. I see what he wrote about. I'm on True Social now. What about the second aircraft carrier? Petros, that's kind of old news. He may have stated that, but he has hinted at it. And when you read something like that, when it says that, it's coming from the Wall Street Journal, but he reposted the Wall Street Journal article. This is not new news. Maybe to the public, but behind the scenes, it's not new news. But I get it. I get what you're saying as far as the article from. It's going to block me because I'm not paying for the Wall Street Journal ever. Heck no. But because this is being said, this has been the plan anyway. This has been the plan. So this is what he pre-posted, the article from Wall Street Journal an hour ago. I'm seeing it now. I don't think anyone can be surprised by that at all. You know what I mean? It's a matter of time, but let me just, like I said, get into some of the things that are going on behind the scenes since the meeting with Netanyahu. Turkey's playing a game. They're putting certain things out there, as they always do. Just like a few weeks ago. Intelligence shows that Israel's about to attack Iran. Turkey cannot be trusted. Now, when it comes to this situation, they can't be trusted, in my opinion. What the hell is this? Reuters. A U.S. warship and a Navy supply vessel collided during refueling. What? Oh, it wants me to subscribe to Reuters. I'm not doing that. I'm going to have to look that up. What? Okay, here it is. During refueling. This is from this morning. It happened yesterday, though. Two U.S. Navy ships collided in an area patrolled by the U.S. Southern Command, leaving two personnel with minor injuries. The destroyer Truxtun and supply class fast combat support vessel collided during replenishment at sea. The injured personnel sustained minor injuries in the incident and are in stable condition. Both ships have reportedly sailed safely, and the collision is currently under investigation. So Southern, that's by Venezuela, that's the Caribbean. And did you see what was happening yesterday with the NOTAM? What was responsible for it? They were testing lasers to bring down drones along the border. That's why they shut it down. And that's why they turned it back up. They stopped it. Allegedly, this is what the media is posting, that it was a test. Let's see. AP. What is AP putting? It was a dispute over lasers to thwart cartel drones led to airspace closure. That's what they're saying. The sudden and surprising air closure of El Paso, Texas, stemmed from the Pentagon's plans to test a laser for use in shooting down drones used by Mexican drug cartels. That's what AP, and I seen it on other media outlets on my phone. Supposedly, that's what happened. And good morning to all of you as well. But let me just read to you, because there's not much news. That's why I didn't put no. I said good morning, because it's good morning. It's really nothing. It's quiet. Other than some of the stuff coming out here. I did install it. That's right. I don't have to go to the phone anymore. I installed it. The desktop app makes it so much easier than me looking at the phone. They got more stuff coming out too now. This makes life so much easier. There's some new posts, but okay, here. Oh my God, they got a bunch. So this was about 2 hours ago. While I was mentioning about Turkey. Turkish Foreign Minister, the U.S. must show flexibility in the negotiations and allow Iran to keep enriching uranium within acceptable limits. So what do you guys think? There's going to be a compromise to allow Iran to enrich uranium for civil purposes? Science, medicine, power? He also added, attempting to include Iran's ballistic missile program in the talks will bring nothing but another war in the region. Because they know that Israel wants that on the table. So they're purposely doing that because, like I said, Turkish relations with Israel is not good. Not good. And they want to be like the uniters of the Arab world all of a sudden. They want to be like the power structure in the Middle East, Turkey. And they're the ones that are trying to talk behind closed doors with other leaders on behalf of Iran. It's Turkey. I don't trust Turkey when it comes to this situation at all. I don't know what all of you feel like, but until now the people don't have electricity. But somebody said something really interesting in chat yesterday, which I agree. If it is true, which it seems like it is, that the carrier is moving there, probably, even though I heard somebody tell me the Roosevelt, I think it's the Bush. Despite that, whatever it is, whatever carrier, who cares? But it's going to take time. It won't happen for another 2 weeks. 10, 12 days for that carrier to move across the Atlantic, or if it's even coming, I don't know how, from another area, it's going to take time. And, they're trying to schedule more negotiations after the negotiation to have a negotiation. But is it only going to be nuclear? And is the president going to compromise and allow them to enrich uranium to a certain level, which is acceptable, so they can have it for science and power plants? And really? So let's just say somehow the president agrees to a deal like that. What is Israel going to do? You think Israel is just going to stand by it, but this is what they want. So that because this is what Turkey's trying to do. They're trying to create an alliance against Israel. The Israel, if they strike first, oh my gosh, the Arab world, I'm telling you, it's Turkey. Look at the rhetoric the Turkish president said about Israel over the last 2 years, 2+ years, 2.5 years, really. Look at the rhetoric. And these people are the mediators? They sure don't look like a mediator to me, based on the rhetoric they've said. And I totally agree with Israel. How could you let them be part of a peace plan and being on the boots on the ground in Gaza when after everything they've said, you trust them to be there? I wouldn't. If it happened here in the United States, I sure as well wouldn't want people that said all that bullshit about my country and me and everything else participating in some kind of a negotiated deal to do some peace monitoring or, oh my gosh. I mean, sometimes you have to wonder what people are thinking. I mean, do they have their screws tight? I mean, really? You think this, because really what they're trying to do is protect the regime as well. They're trying to create a Sunni Shia bridge. It's Turkey trying to build a coalition. Trust me, it's Turkey. And the ultimate goal is, and I don't want to get graphic, but screw Israel. It really is. And if you allow this regime to stay in power, I mean, I don't want to make references to the past, but the cruelty and the heinous acts could be compared to leaders from decades ago on the atrocities done to their own people. And we're going to let that stand? And it's not even just that. If we were to betray the people of Iran after all that was said, the rhetoric, and that regime is allowed to stay in, first of all, those people are going to, not only have they suffered, they're going to continue to suffer for a long, long time. Not only that, they're going to feel betrayed by the United States president and the country. So you are now just not going to be at war with a regime. The people of Iran are going really to hate the United States. Because that's not the case now. The people of Iran are good people. And even 9/11, they were the one in that region that were lighting candles, vigils. Well, if you allow this all to play out, not only are you harming the people of Iran by your promises, empty promises, which I don't think is going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. But if it did, this is bad. This is bad. This is not a good deal for the United States to make a deal just on nuclear. It's a bad deal. If that was the case, you should have left the freaking the treaty in place with the IAEA monitoring them, and you called it a horrible deal. And here you are trying to make another nuclear deal with the same country that you can't even get people in there. You can't trust them to tell you anything, just like the IAEA had so many issues. And now you're going to be able to trust them? And how are you going to do that? Monitors on the ground? And you're going to trust them. All of a sudden, you sign a deal. Just for the sake of signing a deal? Is that what this is all about? Just to say you signed a deal? This ain't happening. So I'm just throwing two sides on this. That's why I say this ain't happening. There's no way that, I mean, I can't even say no way because I kind of doubt that a little bit now. It is highly, highly unlikely that a deal is going to be reached. Especially, you said all the talk, missiles, proxies, the people that have been detained, they have to be released immediately, no more killing. Well, there's reports that come of everything. They're going into the hospitals. Fox News covered it yesterday. And I hope he's watching Fox News. But it was old news. They're just catching up about them going into hospitals and killing the wounded. That's old news. They're just talking about it now. So they're still killing people, they're executing people, and they make it even a joke on here, on Telegram. You have to see it. They put a post that 1,000 people have been executed, and they put the statement by the president, I prevented 800, and they go, oops. And then they say they're executing many, many people. It's almost like a proverbial middle finger. So what the hell is going on? And I've said it for weeks. It's got to be one thing. Getting everything ready. Getting all the pieces in place, including, I don't know why it took so long to send another carrier there. That should have been done, but maybe the carriers weren't ready. Because that's a shit show. That has taken this long. Now, don't get me wrong. It takes a long time to get things in place. It takes months, half a year. Venezuela. Iraq. But you couldn't send the carrier sooner? Another one? But maybe they were having maintenance or training or whatever the hell it was. But if for that part, I got to say they're doing a tremendous job moving all the assets via aircraft and other naval assets. Oh, yes. But it made me wonder, why is it taking so long to move another carrier there? That should have been like, when the 12th day was happening, there were two carriers. Houthis. I believe it was the Roosevelt and the other one. Carl Vinson. There were two there. Could have been the Ford. I can't remember.
It's 31 degrees and most
Alexa,
of the
stop.
right now.
So, I still truly believe something is going to go down. If we don't, Israel is. It's down to that. If we don't, Israel will. Based on the ballistic missile program. So it's something's going to go down.
The Knicks beat the 76ers
Alexa, stop. I just don't know necessarily when we do. Now, like I said, they may be waiting for this second carrier to arrive, and it probably wouldn't happen for another week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever. if that's the case, or do they have enough right now to do what they need to do, and when that gets into position, I don't know. That's for the military and the strategic people to decide. I have no idea. Um, and yes, they're moving assets to the north. I mean, the presence is there, and I believe all of this is a ploy to delay and to say that they gave the Iranians the opportunity to communicate and try to negotiate, just like the last time, and it didn't work out. But I mean, we just got to see at this point, really. U.S. Navy rushed U.S. airmen to the Persian Gulf. Thanks for your services. Don't wait. Don't give time to terrorist Ali Khamenei. Yes, this is yeah. It's gonna end. So I've truly, like I said, even though I said what I said, it's because I'm trying to bring up all points here. I truly believe something's gonna go down in the next few weeks. God bless everyone as well. We will not forget, we will not forget, we will not retreat. Proud of Reza Pahlavi, and you should. I mean, even the things that that's rage baiting or whatever, the things they've been saying about the president and putting out there, and that alone, mock coffins during the celebrations yesterday, with taking photos with children around them. I'm like, this is sick. Imagine, I mean, it's just unthinkable. Becky said that the game is on. BB isn't waiting any longer. I think until BB shows urgency, I think that's why it was released. USA is ready with Esport. I hope. Look, a lot of people might say, oh, you're a warmonger, you're a war hawk. Nobody wants war. But in this situation, when you're dealing with this kind of fucking regime, it's not going to get better over time. And let's put it another way. They might be stalling for 3 years. Because if another president is elected, and it's a Democrat, that's exactly what they might be waiting for. And I'm not trying to diss Democrats. I'm just saying the facts. They're trying to wait out time till somebody else gets in office and the policies change or whatever. It's crazy. I mean, you have to think long term too. It's not just short term. You have to think about the long term. After me and BB left the White House without press, we knew that though. Chaos, we knew that. I asked people that question. Many of us said they're not going to take questions. A few said yes. Did we not predict that was going to happen, that they weren't going to take questions? What's going on, Tammy? Yeah, good morning, Candace. Neither do I. Oh, let me get back into these messages. Oh, there. Yeah. Hamas, of course, issued a poster and statement in Farsi. Any attack on the Islamic Republic of Iran is an attack on the entire Islamic world. That's what they want. That's exactly what they want. That's why I'm saying Turkey's trying to coordinate where there's some kind of collaboration between the Arab states to bring them all together. It's Turkey against Israel. Because who's going to really get the brunt of this in the end anyway? Israel. Yeah, the jet to America, all that shit, we know that. But who's in the region? Who has to live in the neighborhood? This is what this is about. Bahrain. Interesting. This is an interesting statement from Bahrain. Bahrain says if Iran attacks U.S. bases on its soil, it would not remain silent. Woo! Tough words from Bahrain. Holy. I'll tell you one thing, and I don't want to get into politics, but Rubio, as a Republican candidate, I pick Rubio over Vance as a presidential candidate. That's just my opinion. Just me. But good morning, Helmet. So Bahrain showing some cojones. We will not remain silent. Whoa, tough. Finally, somebody's got some nerve in the region. That's interesting. You attack us, we're not just going to sit idly by and do nothing. Finally. Yeah, Turkey's in Syria, yeah, with the Kurds. That's a nightmare in itself. I get where you're coming from. If they wait, some funds will make it back to them. There's still money funneling from Iran to Hezbollah. It's happening in suitcases. I read that article a few days ago. They're bringing money. Yeah, I know, but Snoopy, seriously, it's still interesting that Bahrain said that. Like, look at me. If Iran attacks us, we're not staying silent. If you hit the bases of the United States bases in our soil, we're not going to remain silent. Ooh, I don't know what they have. That sounds like a lot of talk. Do we need to look up the Bahrain forces and see what they got? It probably isn't much. But still, it's a statement. What's up, Cluster and Mike and Jason, everybody? Becky, Snoopy, Helmet, Kimberly, Mike. Don't forget, we have never attacked during the... And, not for nothing. And I don't want to connect it. What about the Olympics? That's supposed to be symbolic of bringing countries together to, despite whatever, to participate in games together. I'm just saying. What? A mullah threatened all the countries that have trade with the U.S. and Persian TVs yesterday. I'm not surprised. But they do a lot of talking. Are you surprised? They do a lot of talking. What happened with Tammy? What's going on with Tammy? Tammy, I hope everything's okay. Anyway, let's keep going. I'm so glad I got the desktop app for this because I don't have to look at the phone. I could actually not use glasses. Now, this is the Times of Israel. Unpersuaded by Netanyahu, Trump insists on going jaw-to-jaw with Iran and Hamas. That means the Gaza thing. I don't necessarily agree with that. He just stated to Netanyahu that he still plans to continue negotiations with Iran. The president's going to make his own mind up. That's kind of a twist I'm not so sure about. Meeting in Washington, Prime Minister seemingly makes little headway with argument that talks with terror group and Tehran are futile and more military forces needed to achieve goals. The president is... What do you mean? More military forces needed to achieve goals? What the hell do you think the president's doing? I've never seen so much activity in my life. The assets brought into the region, not just by us, by other countries as well. What? That doesn't even make sense. Believe me, ballistic missiles were discussed. And he said it, how many weeks ago? 5 weeks ago. I showed the clip yesterday, December 29th. A question was asked about, what do you think if Israel were to act unilaterally against their ballistic program? He said yes. And he also said if that was an issue and he thought that the ballistic missile program was a problem, he said yes, nuclear immediately. So the president already made that clear weeks ago. Oh my God. Oh my God, look what happened here. What a blunder. This is from the Times of Israel. Iran fires TV boss after reporter accidentally called cause for Khamenei's death. Reporter apologizes for blunder after mistakenly saying death to Khamenei instead of death to America when repeating chants heard in crowd marking 1979 revolution. Oops. His real comments came out instead of restating what the people in the crowd were saying, because they were saying death to America. But he said death to Khomeini. Oops. That's a big oops. You're fired. I don't know if it might be worse than just fired. I think it might be a lot worse than that. All right, hold on. Let me see. There's a couple more. Yeah, they're repeating what the president shared on his Truth Social. Oh, Jordan. Jordan announced. I think this is common sense. We could have all figured this out. Jordan announced that it would allow the the use of its land and skies for a possible U.S. and Israeli attack on Iran. Go Jordan. I said that for weeks. Jordan is the true ally in the region, not just for the United States, but for Israel as well. Jordan. Yeah, Jason, for real. Yeah, that's a whoopsie, like Tusi would say. Is Tusi going live? Anybody? Does anybody know if he's going live soon? I had coffee, but I haven't had breakfast yet. Oh, and I got my mug. You better believe that. Got the mug. Had my first coffee out of it. Nice. No cheaters to see yet. It's a small island country, not really sure about the amount of military, yeah. No, hell no, Jordan didn't say no. Jordan's where everything's been sent in, Candace. UK, us, that's where everything's being put. The majority of the assets coming in, yeah, there's some to set up defenses, bases, and other countries' bases, but Jordan, there's been a lot going into Jordan. UK aircraft, US aircraft, military. Oh, they've been busy in Jordan. Good on Jordan. Let's see. I just want to see what the other side is saying. Let me see. I read that. Okay, let's try this one. That was something that came out yesterday. Iran would interpret the deployment of a second aircraft carrier to the Middle East as a definite step towards war, noting that it would undermine the ongoing negotiations. Too bad. Get over it. Iran would interpret the deployment as during the negotiation process. Iran will not allow additional military threats during the negotiation process, and this would be seen as a sign of false intentions and insincerity from the Americans. Too bad. So you can show your missiles and AI videos hitting our carriers and all this shit, but don't whine. Don't whine, because look what you do with your propaganda. mock coffins on the street during your 47th anniversary. Rhetoric. We have new missiles. We have this. We have that. Oh. So when we start moving another carrier in, you're whining. Huh, you could show off your missiles and all that, right? I don't think so. Too bad. Get over it. Israel estimates that Iran is only negotiating to buy time. They're right. And the Iranian regime sees a military confrontation as inevitable. Between who? Israel and Iran? All of us involved here? The U.S., Israel? Like, what does that mean? What's going on now in here? Good morning, John. Let's see. Well, hopefully, Pahlavi will have the opportunity to lead sooner rather than later. Did you see that Kim Jong said that his daughter will be the next person to lead the country? I saw that. I was like, wow. His daughter. Anyway, any word on Tusi going live? I'm just curious. That's Michael saying. Michael Garland. Let me see what he said. Because chaos. I'm missing it. Oh, you saw that was disgusting with the coffins. Yeah, right? Kim's sister. She looks like something out of a James Bond movie as a villain. For real. She's like, you're right. I agree about that. I do. She looks like somebody you don't mess with. It's like, she almost reminds me of like a Black Widow spider. You know what I mean? I agree. Who put that in the chat? I agree. Snoopy? Yeah, I agree, dude. I agree. She's one that she scares me more than he does. Kim Jong Fatty. She does. Oh my gosh. That's funny. I actually was thinking about that. I was thinking of like, that's too funny, Snoopy. That to get the day started. That's good. Guys, don't be so pessimistic about a deal. I said what I said because I'm trying to be objective and look at it from all different perspectives, opinions. I still think something's going down in about 2 weeks. I still think something's going down. But remember, nuclear is one thing. We can still go after their missiles. Their ballistic missile program may not touch the nuclear sites. Does not exclude the possibility, because the president even said, he said it recently about the missile program. Yeah, the nuclear, the missile program, this and that. He's aware of the intelligence. He sure as hell got an earful yesterday from Netanyahu. And they share intelligence, and I'm not just talking about between leaders, the militaries. That's important. It's one thing for the leaders to talk, but who are the people that really know the deal, what's going on? It's those people, the intelligence gatherers, the people that are in the military, the chain. They're the ones who know. And they can brief the president, Joint Chiefs, whatever. Mr. President, But they know what's going on. You think they don't? Of course they do. They know what's the threat, what's at stake. They have to protect the troops. They have to, that's their job. And to also assess any attack at the highest confidence level of success. Because they also have to consider the possible losses involved in any conflict. You know they're going through all kinds of scenarios. And you know they would say, sure, another carrier would help. How could it not? I mean, really? Exactly. You give them more time. It's going to turn into the North Korea model. You see them testing the ICBMs, and they've got nukes now. And these Arab countries are absolutely, it's boggling that they would love to have that regime stay in power, eventually develop, confirmed they have a nuke. And what's going to happen then? An arms race with nuclear weapons? Everybody's going to want one? Because remember, it's still a Sunni Shia thing. You think Saudi Arabia is going to sit there without a nuclear weapon when Iran does? It's going to start a nuclear arms race. Not good. So, again, there's short term and then there's long term. The long term, this is a disaster. If somehow the regime stays in power, not just to the people of Iran themselves, but for the whole freaking region. I mean, let's put it this way. Let's just put it this way. Let's say none of this was happening right now. Let's just say what happened in late December, the revolution by the people, didn't happen. Let's just say. What do you think Netanyahu would still think about their buildup of their ballistic missile program? You think that was just going to go away? That would have been a main focal point. That part is not going away, regardless. It's not going away. And does the United States take that threat seriously as well? What, are we going to wait until they develop an ICBM that can target a Hawaii or Alaska or the States? Really? Really? So, it's not logical. None of it makes sense other than this is a delay because the president wants to make sure he has everything in place to be overwhelming. We know he does not like to lose in any situation. He wants to make sure he's got all the cards and probably some other cards not being used. But he wants to make sure everything's in place. You know what I mean? So, and we've seen this rhetoric narrative before. Where we're talking to them, we're trying to negotiate a deal right before Midnight Hammer. We're trying to negotiate. You could hear it word for it. It's like almost the same thing he said. Hopefully they'll make a deal. If not, bad things are going to happen. Things like that. Well, he's saying it again. But this time, it ain't going to just be B2s. This time, it's unleashing unholy hell on the IRGC and the regime. And yeah, they can play with their missile videos and all this shit. I watched a video yesterday, and I can't share it, about that microwave weapon. Like they were showing, what if 80 drones headed toward the carrier? And they went through the whole scenario. It started with, let me explain it. They started with 12 drones, like a little wave coming. And they knew there was a surveillance drone that the Iranians had watching what was going on how we would defend this. And because they were even saying the price tags. Like the missiles that are used to intercept, they cost like $1 million plus each for a $30,000 drone that sounds like a lawnmower. let me. I'll just, the 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 gun. It's like a Gatling gun. I forgot what they call it. In that intercepting them as they're coming in, and other means, but not showing their card. And they know that the Iranian drone is recording and observing everything. Then Iran says, "Oh shit, they're vulnerable if we send a swarm." Not so fast. And they were showing about that microwave weapon that's installed on the ships. And it's been tested on similar. What it does, it goes after the internal mechanism of the drone, which, I'm not kidding, the drones that they make, and I don't want to say too much, this is stuff you can buy online, like components. It's not high tech. It's not. They let them go, their guidance, they can't move, they just go based on. And it takes out, it's not actually compromising the hull, it's taking out the electronics. And you know what it does? Right down. And they were showing how they would take them all out. And all of a sudden they would see all their drones just fall from the sky. And I'm like, holy shit. They have no idea what's about to hit them. No idea. And that was just one thing I seen. I was watching the testing of this, a video. And it hasn't been out that long. It's only a few years. But they're on the ships. It's like I said, I seen a video. I was like, wow, this is impressive. How they can intercept and take out these drones. And it's amazing. It's actually amazing how this thing works. It looks like a big, flat, it almost looks like a solar dish. It's square, and it projects the microwave focused. And boom, 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 boom. It takes them all out. It's like, holy shit. Are you guys aware of that? I'm sure some of you are. But I believe the regime in Iran is not like, of course it's not. You can't compare Venezuela. Even, is Venezuela like extremist, jihadist types? Really? I mean, they've got guerrilla warfare people there, but we're talking about a whole different ball game here. This is different, way different, and also the size. And you have to give recognition of the Iranian military force. You have to. You'd be ignorant and naive not to. Can't compare Venezuela to Iran in many ways. Yeah. But we kind of knew that another carrier was going to be heading to the region. Now, that might be public, but do you think it was actually departed whenever, yesterday or whatever? We might put something out there public, but there's a lot that's going on behind the scenes that we don't know. If they're putting that out publicly, they're just putting that out on purpose so the Iranian regime knows it. It's like announcing it to them. If you don't do what we say, this is what's coming. There's a lot already there. It's psyop more. Enough time given to prepare. We will go alone if needed. I said that. Israel, that's why I said, if none of this even happened, the massacre and what's going on in Iran, if say none of this happened, you still think Israel was going to stand by and allow this ballistic missile program to go on and increase in numbers and tech by the Chinese or whatever? You really think they would have just, even if all this didn't happen, Israel's still going to make a move on their ballistic missile program? There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind. Regardless of the scenarios going on, Israel's going to make a move no matter what. If the United States doesn't, Israel is. I think that's obvious, I think. Oh, Mike's seen it. I'm not a very patient person either. I can't wait till all this is over and we get back to sky watching and gaming. I can't do my camera outside, Dusty, because the next meteor shower is not till April anyway, the Lyrids. There's so much snow out there still. I'm praying that it melts. I'm not setting up my camera and my equipment out there in this middle of this insanity. I'm not. I'll wait. I'll be patient. Let's see. And we have no idea the weapons that China and Russia have supplied. That's right. No idea. No idea. We've seen the helicopters being displayed from Russia. And they're modifying them now. Well, I don't believe it until I see it already at the moment. Yeah. But remember, John, this is the same tactic, the same approach he did before Midnight Hammer. It's the same thing. Just remember that. This isn't a new narrative by the president. It's not. He's done this before. He even did it before Venezuela. I'm talking to Maduro, his people. We're trying to negotiate a deal. A week later, Maduro's in New York. We called on reservists. We are already prepared. News on that. Bibi went early and left earlier. Looks like we are going alone. So he did leave yesterday back to Israel after the meeting with the president? I thought that was going to happen. Somebody said it could happen today, that he was going to leave. Why would he wait? He should be immediately getting on a plane, heading back home. That didn't make sense to me. I'm really interested to find out what aid the Russians, right, and the Chinese are providing. The regime is a turkey blowing up its tail feathers, trying to look bigger and more of a threat, but they'll still wind up on the chopping block, then headed to the dinner table to be eaten. That's an interesting take, Uncle Tank. Is it because you had turkey the last few days? I know you were making turkey. Right up my alley. I'm into UFOs myself all my life, actually. Oh, you're talking to the right person right now. Who said that, Mike? Are you kidding? We'll talk about that. Matter of fact, maybe I'll bring Mark on. Because remember, this is not a stream for Iran because there's really not much coming out. It's not. I would have made it so this is not clickbaitable. It's not debatable as a clickbaitable. I heard rumors that he left one day earlier. It was planned for until he was going to be there. What? He was going to be here till Friday, but he left yesterday. And the meeting lasted, I heard it lasted 2.5 hours. So you think something happened behind the scenes? Oh, no. I used to be a producer for a radio station, but I'm a producer now for another network. Let's clarify that, Dusty. I may not be in the old one, which I worked my ass off for many years. Well, now I'm with another network, and I'm about to do the same thing. I saw once a glowing ball of light, stationary, hovering in a farmer's field when I was on a drive, and I scared the shit out. I believe it. You see Pine Bush UFO Fair, I help every year putting that together with the speakers. And I do a lot of other things. I know. Can that be okay? You see how Netanyahu, he's smart. He's not doing much talking, is he? I don't think so. The only people he's going to talk to right now are the people he needs to talk to, the Mossad, IDF, etc. And now he's gonna, after meeting with the president, he knows what he needs to do, whatever that decision is moving forward. Whether it's waiting to see how this plays out with the president and Iran, or the alternative, we need to act unilaterally and take care of this. It's got to be either one of those. There's no other option here. It's either he waits, they made an agreement that he waits to see how this plays out with Iran. What is on the table? Is it just nuclear? Are you going to bring up the ballistic? He got his answer yesterday. Now, the president came out with that statement paraphrasing pretty much, we're going to continue negotiations on the nuclear talks. No mention of ballistic. Who knows? Hold on, I'm trying to catch up. You believe a lot of this is alien tech? Don't get me started with this conversation, because you're going to make me flip now to something totally different. I'll bring people on, let them do the talking. What do you think of Skinwalker Ranch? I'm on the fence with all that. Do I think that there may be natural phenomenon going on? Possibly. But as far as everything else, I'm on the fence. I hear so much, but look, the bottom line is this. Even in the UFO field, paranormal, until I'm shown evidence that convinces me otherwise, I have to be on the fence and skeptical. I have to be. And I know a lot of people. Travis Walton has stayed over my house. I spent a lot of time with Travis. That's just one example. I mean, I know a lot of people doing what I do for so many years. Because I truly believe what Travis has said. Truly believe it. 100%. But that's my opinion. I believe in my friend John Burroughs. What happened at Rendlesham. 100%. I definitely believe, even though Tom is a little cray-cray at times, I believe Tom Reed had an experience with his family in 1969 Labor Day weekend in Massachusetts. I know him personally. He's a little cray-cray at times, a little wild. Well, I think many of us are a little wild at times. So I can nitpick, but have I seen evidence that has convinced me? Absolutely not. Is there a lot of speculation? Absolutely. So, like the hearings, you see these hearings? You guys made me flip the conversation. I've heard like Mrs. Soriano, I've heard so much coming from so many sources that I know. And I'm going to bring him on one day. I'm going to bust his chops. And maybe Mark, the astronomer, because he does the MUFON stuff and he's had his own personal experience. MK Ultra, like people are bringing up Project Bluebeam and all these other things that it's possible. It's possible. Like I said, I would call Tom because I don't want to say it. But a lot of people behind the scenes, they know information. They know what's going on. Like the hearings, let me ask you all this question. Has anybody been paying any attention to these UAP hearings? The whistleblowers, documentaries that come out with people saying all kinds of things. I did have an experience at Nuclear Lake, but that was paranormal. That wasn't extraterrestrial, UFO, unknown, UAP, whatever. No. Even though there was something, the three of us, it was weird. It was weird. But I can't. I've seen what I saw in Mount Talk. Fishing was crazy. But those are my stories. I have no evidence other than that one video I have of that thing going like this, stopping. That's my proof. That's my actual video proof. But the camera was terrible back at the time. Anyway. Okay, you guys seen the UAP and all these documentaries. What is the one thing that's lacking in all these hearings and documentaries? They're talking, yes, I've seen this or I've heard about this and that. They show documents that have already been unclassified and blah, blah, blah. It's like regurgitation of the same bullshit because they're trying to get it to the mainstream, to the public, for the people that are not like myself or some others that are really interested in the subject and maybe seeing it for the first time or second time and they're not really familiar with everything that's going on. To me, it's a bunch of horse shit, and I'll tell you why. I don't want to hear somebody say, well, someone told me about this program, someone showed me these documents or images or video. No. Show the public. Declassify something, because they seem like they can't do any. Show us the evidence. I don't want to hear a story. Anyone in chat could tell me a story right now. And I would value what you guys say as much as what they say, because where's the evidence? I could tell you my stories, but where's the evidence? It's nonsense. It is nonsense. Other than maybe people that are not aware of the subject and seeing it for the first time, they're like, whoa, look what this guy's saying. Look what she's saying. Wow, that's interesting. I wonder. Where's the proof? So I'm sick of it. I truly am. When it comes to that. Chaos, have a great day at work. Exactly. Let's see the evidence. Now, like my friend John Burroughs, well, they got something coming out now. There's a new post. The book is delayed. He's going to put out documents, emails, and other things. He's going to disclose what happened at Rendlesham that he's never done before. He's got stuff. Email exchanges between certain players. I'm not going to speak for John. But at least he's going to be providing some documents, emails, something. Give me something. They've asked him to go to a hearing. He said no. And there's reasons why he said no. Let me see if the nut job is around. Not John. Let me see, because I haven't called him in a while. Tom Reed. Now, Tom is controversial. And I would tell that to his face because he and I have been friends for many years. And I don't shoot bullshit with people. I tell them exactly how it is, whether they like it or not. And he respects that because, oh God, the story, I don't want to go into the whole story, but in Massachusetts, there's the UFO Monument Park. But he had this old, big, concrete block with a plaque on it that stated that the state of Massachusetts governor signed it. They recognize this as an actual UFO encounter, a site. But the damn thing was huge. Now, there was all this fighting with the town because he used to live there. His mother used to own the diner, the local diner there. And there was a lot of problems there alone when he was a kid. And it's a long story because they came from New York City. They bought property. They bought the diner. And, you know, when you do that, you're not necessarily welcomed into a community automatically like that. So there was a little tenseness surrounding that alone. But I was there. I'll call him in a minute. I was there when he was running around to courts and lawyers. I was sitting right next to him in his vehicle as we're going to Springfield and to Sheffield and all the different places in Massachusetts to resolve this problem with the town. He's looking for lawyers and said, Tom, just chill out. Try to get through this, with the town members. And because he has a hot head, he'll be the first one to admit it. He has a hot head, temper. So here I am trying to keep him. Eventually, everything worked out. There's a plaque now, but it's smaller. It's nice. The park is there. But I went through a lot with him over this. And there's people in chat that go to the park. I go to the park sometimes. My friend Mark D'Antonio, the astronomer, he's been there. A lot of us have been there. Matter of fact, the telescope, not a telescope. I forgot what it was from Disney. They put one of those things that you can look around. I forgot what they're called. The park is really nice. I'll actually show you. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy getting through all that Monument Park stuff. And now it's all good and peaceful. But there was a time when things were not good. And he, like when he goes to conferences, he likes to enjoy himself. He likes to enjoy himself. And people are like controversial. Look, Tom is here at a convention. And he's partying. All this stuff. You see, you hear all that. Like, the guy's having a good time. He's having a good time. But that also brings the controversy involved in it, and speculation and gossip and rumors. So, believe me, I was there when one of them happened 2 years ago in Roswell, which was wild. Why isn't it coming up? Sheffield. It's not coming up. All right, let me just look up Sheffield, Massachusetts. Oh, God, I should be able to find it. I'm going to show you on Google Earth. I don't like the way they updated Google Earth. This is not far from my house. But I got to find the park, which is going to be insane. Okay, it's off that highway. So this is Sheffield, Massachusetts, where the park is. All right, we're in Barrington, I mean. I gotta find the stream. Where is the stream? This is a beautiful place, by the way. It's beautiful here. Okay, there's the water. The park is near near this. Tom Reed UFO Park. There it is. That's why it's... So this is the park. Now, they owned a diner in town. Okay? So they took this shortcut. At the time, the bridge was open. The covered bridge was open at the time. So this was 69. They were going down. All of a sudden, this is based, I can get him on the story, on the phone. He was on the driver's side in the back seat. He's seen something. His brother was on this seat. He's seen something. When they got to right here where the cornfield is, because there is a cornfield right about there, I think it was by the pole. I think it was here. They saw a craft over them. And it got really bright. And they have missing time. They woke up in the car. His grandmother was sitting next to his mother in the front seat. Well, now she was in the driver's seat. And time had passed. The covered bridge. That's the covered bridge. And here's this park. Which is not going to give us any good imagery. It's really nice. It's a nice little dedication. Yeah, we're not going to get in there, which is unfortunate. But I played a role here, personally. I'm going to call him. Let's see if he's around. He's probably around. I could bother him. But the reason is, first of all, we were on a phone call. He was here at my house. We got a phone call from someone and told us something we couldn't repeat. Like a year later, because he was involved working with Congress for the Whistleblower Protection Act. Before it became public, we already knew what was coming. And we were sworn to secrecy not to repeat it. And I'm not going to say who told us. Person was right. But I don't want to say anything more unless he says it, because I'm not getting in trouble. Let's just say that. I am not getting in trouble. If he wants to put it out there, that's on him. And then there's another. That's if he's there. What's going on? Listen, I normally do like I've been doing a lot of the Iran streams.
Yeah.
And I am just doing a normal stream, but all of a sudden we were talking about Iran and everything that's going on over there. But then somebody says, "Well, Bill concentrates on UFOs and sky watching most of the time," which is true. And then I brought your name up and the whole story that happened with your family when you were going over the covered bridge.
Yeah.
Tom, you saw something out of the back seat and the passenger on the driver's side on your left, right?
Correct.
Your brother was sitting next to you and he saw something on the right side, correct?
Yes.
Then you got to the opening where the cornfield is, like about what, 200-300 feet after you got over the covered bridge, and you saw the craft hovering over the cornfield, and then it went over the vehicle?
It never went over the vehicle, but Ancient Aliens made it look like it did, and so did Discovery Channel. But no, it just stayed. It never moved. It just hovered and remained on the left side of the car. No, Ancient Aliens showed like the round sphere, following us from the bridge and then stopping us. And our car did get engulfed in light, so we don't know where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
But no, the disc itself remained. Everything remained and hovered kind of over marsh or water.
Okay. And you had missing time where your grandmother was on the passenger side but ended up on the driver's side where your mom was.
Yeah, and something else people say too a lot, like the car then reappeared in town. No, the car remained in the same spot, but the lights were on, the car was running, and then when we found ourselves back in the vehicle, the ignition was off, and my mother and grandmother were reversed.
And the plaque is there, of course. And what does the plaque describe signed by the governor of Massachusetts?
It basically confirms the formal induction by the Historical Society that my family and the incident myself are the first family to have had their UFO encounter officially archived and made part of U.S. history.
Now, it wasn't just your experience, but many people in the Berkshires area also witnessed this as well, right?
Yeah, well, there were like 250 witnesses to the event, but we were the only ones that actually truly had an event.
Right.
There were some other people on a show or two that have embellished, let's say, to say the least. So, but there were, over 250 witnesses from Pittsfield, South Egremont, Canaan, Connecticut. I mean, there were cattle mutilations that people don't talk about. They were in Canaan, they weren't in Massachusetts. Canaan, Connecticut. And then, there were 3 objects. There wasn't just one. 2 of the objects we saw were spheres. Only one was a disc. But there were so many people that were actual true witnesses to this that have never really gotten. I'm sorry, man. I just woke up, by the way. I did. I seriously, I went to bed at 4. It's my birthday today. So
Happy birthday, dude!
Yeah, I'm getting ready to meet a bunch of friends of mine at a Mexican restaurant. But Yeah, so Gina Paul and Marissa Paul, they lived on our street. They interviewed with Yvonne Smith's son about 10 or 15 years ago, but they've never really done anything more than that. Linda Farrell, who's on my Facebook to this day, she's a true witness to this. She was part of it. She hung out in our diner, our restaurant. You know, a lot of people don't realize either that our case really focuses on the diner. I mean, you know this, but and how that diner altered the natural progression of the community. Therefore, it added to that whole part that you know that because that's where the guy most of the people worked late at night together that were had moved into the area that were now either working for Sprague Electric, Command Aerospace,
That I was going to bring up. While you're
yeah,
doing that, after you say this, talk about the military background, what was going on at the time in the area that could, I'm not saying it is, could have a connection to what was going on.
yeah. So how our diner and our case really became how it was easily uh, made into an historical time or moment or day is because of the effect it had on the community and the ties to the space race. And so, with that, yeah, Sprague Electric, GE, Command Aerospace, many other manufacturing facilities that were working with NASA, which was in Boston at the time. They still have an office in Boston, but back in the 60s, a lot of the money that was being fed to those companies to manufacture parts to be rushed to the moon were being fed through NASA into the Berkshires. And so those people who had moved in from Albany, Hartford, whatever, were now bored because now they're in this little community where there's nothing to do. So you had the horse track and you had the diner with the jukebox, and being even the local radio stations were only AM. If they wanted to listen to the Stones and have a sandwich, they ate at my mother's diner. And so that diner became the hub for all these people to meet and discuss things. And so our incident, if you will, or that 1969 incident, because there was more than one, but that particular incident and the one in 1967, which actually made the newspapers, were openly discussed in the diner and also ultimately, supposedly, fueled the idea of the goodwill message that was later left on the moon.
Mm.
That's why it's historic. And nobody else had that paper trail. No other witness, had any like front row seats for this thing either. So the state needed my family's testimony, and then of course they mined for information at the Roswell UFO Museum and the Research Library. Attorney Kessler went there on behalf of the state of Massachusetts, and so there's just a lot. It went before the United Nations in 1992 in support of General Assembly 33426. So there's a lot to, to mine from. And you can't say, and nobody could actually say this didn't happen with everything that it has, going for it, if you will. So, yeah, it's a really strange thing to be part of, to be quite honest with you.
Yep. I got one more thing because I know it's your birthday and you're going to get ready to go out and you just woke up.
Yeah, and I got a head cold.
Oh, geez. Now, without giving specifics, you engage with someone that told you that he witnessed technology that was definitely not of this earth. It was not made by us. Could you describe what that person told you? And this is a person that is in government.
Yeah. So, so apparently, so the idea.
Remember, we're live, just so you know.
Yeah. Okay. So the idea that we back engineered crafts and this kind of thing came to a halt over a lunch with a congressman, and what we were told is that the surround spheres like we saw back in the 60s, and I think what was brought up in the UAP hearings as kind of a cylinder with something inside of it that looked blocky, that there actually has been a craft that has been in a facility somewhere in the United States that many have actually gone and seen in person. The interesting part of this and why it was mentioned to me is that there was a conversation about, hey, well, we're back engineering technology and so on and so, this kind of ideas that circulate so often. And we were told, no, Tom, it's impossible because the one that I personally saw, we couldn't even penetrate the outside of it. So the idea of what is in there was hydrogen, supposedly, and the tools and the years of trying to penetrate the shell of this thing has been nearly impossible. And so how can we be back engineering technology if we can't even penetrate the sphere that encompasses,
The energy source
the
within.
mechanical part of it, inside
Yeah.
of it,
Yeah, so I was because we had a conversation about back engineering and some of the technology, in general. But you had that conversation directly with someone that actually informed you that, this person actually witnessed it for themselves and couldn't believe what they were seeing, and said, this is not of this earth. It's something we didn't make.
Right, and know where it is too. So, what's interesting about that conversation as well is that I wasn't by myself. It wasn't a private one-on-one conversation. We were just having lunch, and this 15 or 20-minute meeting turned into 3 hours, and I was there with the interesting thing. You remember the behavior panel that's on?
Yes, YouTube.
Yeah, one of the guys from the behavior panel were actually with me.
Yeah, I know who you were with. I don't want to get into details.
Well, who I was with doesn't matter. Right?
Oh, I'm just saying though. But you were in the company of others, and not only was the congressional person there, but their assistant was there as well, right?
Yeah, assistant, a friend of mine at the time, and someone from the behavior panel. And this is how crazy this whole thing happened, right? So, I got a call from one of the guys from the behavior panel because I had just been interviewed by them, and I passed and the whole thing, the body language experts. And he happened to be in town and just said, hey, what are you doing? You want to meet for lunch? I'm like, sure. And so I said, I'm going to be at such and such a place. It was like a country club. And then I get a call from the assistant of somebody, and they say, hey, listen, so-and-so has a few minutes today. It just, that crazy. And it all happened unexpectedly, all within like an hour and a half.
Wow.
And it was kind of like somebody just wanted to really talk to me, and so it was very informative. There's so much, Bill, I know you know more than
Yeah, that's why I'm saying be careful. We're live.
yeah. So anyway, I hope that helps a little bit. So I'm going to go to a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, go. Well, let me ask you one final question before you go, because I could be a pain in the what. He does know we spent a lot of time together. Guys, you have no idea. Are you in discussion in being part of a future UAP hearing?
Yes. I've already been, I've been to, an office at the,
Don't say I know.
Yeah, anyway, and I was briefed on how, you have 5 minutes from this guy, 5 minutes from this one. Make sure that you get to the point. Make sure something's interesting so there'll be follow-up questions. Yeah, I was briefed on how to handle everything. And
you've been coached. So, you've been coached, bro, how to deal with it when you're sitting in the chair.
I was coached, and I also got an email from Rogan. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you. You know how you and I shoot straight together. We don't hold anything back. Just don't lose your temper. Don't let them get under your skin. You know what I'm saying? Just hold it down. You know what I'm saying? Don't. Oh, come on. Oh my God. Anyway, have a great time. We'll talk privately. Call me whenever, because things have changed. Things are going on. I got to talk to you privately.
Okay, yeah. So maybe can we? When's a good time today? Because I got to run. I got people coming all the way from Massachusetts for my birthday party.
Wow, that's so cool. And you're down in TN, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Call me. Just call me.
All right, bud.
Have a great time. Happy birthday.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
That's just a small example. And I know him a long time. And I can't say, specifics. I had to be, we have to be careful. That's an example. The shit that goes on behind the scenes, like I said, that the public has no idea. It is crazy. I will say this. Am I convinced that we definitely have something? Yes. Have I seen evidence of it? No. Do I think we're dealing, I'm just my own personal opinion, with visitors from afar, like a far, far away? I think more it's interdimensional. Or the ability to use dimensions to travel. And there's also the possibility that we're dealing with something that's been here for a long, long time. You can talk to people that discuss USOs, underwater. Shit, I don't know if I should want to say that. Someone told me, a very, very prominent figure told me that near Greenland, there might be something going on underneath. That's what this is a very prominent person that told me this. The person said, it's not just about the rare earth, Bill. It's not about all that. Security. Yeah, it might be a security for another reason. I was like, what? What does that mean? And she said, there might be some kind of an underwater base. I'm just telling you the things I hear. So I'm just giving you a small sample. Because you can only imagine, and my friend Race is probably the only other person that can identify with this. When you sit in this chair and you produce thousands and thousands and thousands of shows, talking to thousands and thousands of people over a decade, 5, 6, 7 days a week. I'm in a little hiatus right now. You get to discuss and have conversations privately with a lot of people in the field, whether it's, I hate to say UAP, that really drives me nuts, UFOs or paranormal or whatever, Bigfoot, whatever you want to, cryptids. It's fascinating. Because there's people that are so-called experts, and then you have people that are experiencers, researchers, scientists. It's fascinating, to say the least. It's a job that never gets boring. It really doesn't. Because it's quiet right now. But there's a lot of talk that the president is going to disclose something. That's been going on for years, though, actually. It's not new. Though they want to make it sound like it's new. But it's not. There's been talk. I mean, even Donald Jr. has been talking about it in his show at times when he brought on Cole Hart and others on his show. So the talk is there. But until I see something happen, it's all speculation and rumor and gossip. Do you know what I mean? Just like what we're dealing with Iran. We want credibility. We want things to be vetted. We want information to be correct. Not just throwing something out there and sticking it on the wall. To me, it's fun to have a discussion about it. It makes for a great coffee table thing, or like I had a dinner in Roswell at a steakhouse and we're all sitting there, a bunch of us, privately, it's just us, part of the convention that's going on. The speakers are there, some of them. And we're just having fun, having discussion, talking. Like a good friend of mine, Marianne Robb, and her partner Dave, they're retired police officers, and they have a thing called oh my god, UAPP-PD.com. They investigate cases that police officers, law enforcement, first responders, anyone want to discuss publicly, but keeping them anonymous because they have to protect their identity, because a lot of them don't want to come forward because they don't want nothing to come back to them. Same thing happens with a lot of pilots. If they're current, if you notice, there's a reason why a lot of people come out after the fact. They're retired. They don't want to lose their jobs. They don't want to lose their pensions. They don't want to go to a psych eval. They don't want to be ridiculed. Because that's what happens. Especially the pilots. Civilian. You run away, report a UFO? It's like the movie Close Encounters. The first thing they're going to do is psych eval. And if they talk, they threaten them with their pensions and everything, fired, all that. That's why a couple of years ago at the hearing, they said that the FAA was going to allow them to come forward and all that. You still think they do that? They're not coming forward. They don't want to put themselves in that position. And it's sad, but that's the fact. You think a police officer wants to come forward? They'll be ridiculed. They'll be laughed at. I know a few myself that I've actually seen stuff. And they made fun of him when he went back. Because he said, and he doesn't want to come forward anymore. He doesn't want to discuss it anymore. He's a friend of mine. He plays in a Latin band locally. He was a Parks Department police officer. He was in his vehicle on the Taconic Parkway, not too far from here. This is when all the things were going crazy up here in the Hudson Valley with UFOs. He was parked on the side of the road. And all of a sudden, a craft appeared right above him. He said it was the size of 2 football fields. And it was hovering, quiet, silent. This was in the 80s. And he got out of his car. He's like looking at the thing. He couldn't believe what the hell was going on. Then, just like out of a movie, it reminded me of Close Encounters. A bunch of police vehicles were speeding with their lights on, coming from the north, heading south where he was. They're racing, and he's looking at it, and all of a sudden the object goes whoosh. They were chasing it. And they went right by him. They were chasing this thing. But you know what the report came out as? These were planes in formation. That was the excuse, and they took off from Stormville. I have another friend that investigates this stuff, which I got to touch base with, see how he's doing. Mike Schratt. So, you hear these stories. I asked the local police, because I am friends with the second in command in my town, police department. I asked him one day, has any officers seen anything? He said, not the ones now, but in the past, there were officers, they're retired now, always, the retired line. They said they witnessed stuff over the Hudson River. He told me that actually an officer seen, when they were on the bridge, a UFO go into the Hudson River and then come out. That's what the officer said. So you hear this all the time. But it's just a story. Where's the evidence? That's the key. So I'm just going over those two. I don't want to get drawn out into this conversation because I could do this all day. But those are just some examples. And she's awesome, Marianne Robb. She's a dear friend. Mark's had his experience on the nuclear sub where they said there was a contact sonar, fast mover. And I'll let him tell the story because I don't want to because I have a habit with him and everybody else. I interrupt them when they're speaking. I'm going to just read what you guys are writing. Is there anything I could tell us about what? Are we talking back to Iran now? There really isn't much going on, other than the foreign minister saying a lot of things out of Turkey. I went to Skinwalker Ranch. A lot of freaky stuff goes on there, but I got kicked away. Yeah, they're kicking everybody away. But there is a range nearby. It's a distance. That's not the property that oversees. Because I was in Ogden a few years ago. Because it's in Utah. Also, the Native American presence there. That's fascinating in itself. With the symbols over there. You want to go to San Antonio or New Orleans. One of the two places to give you a great encounter. Well, I know quite a bit of people that do this kind of stuff. And maybe I'll bring him on one night. My friend Tony Rathman. He's got this device he's been working on, and it's just fascinating. Fascinating. I went on an investigation with him. I went on an investigation with another team. Sometimes I go along with them. Right now, I go to a place here called Hell's... Wait a minute, Matt. I don't think he'd pick up. Bishop Long, The Sacred Division. You should check out his show. I think it was it Hell's Gate? I don't know if it's some cemetery that he's done investigations on. He lives in Kentucky. I'm his producer, but right now I'm in transition, so... but he's done a lot of investigations. He's a demonologist. Look up the show, The Sacred Division, on YouTube. It doesn't have to be at night either. But again, we're going off on this conversation. Well, you guys brought it up, so that's just a little bit. Like, I'll do one more thing and that's it. And then I'm getting off the topic. Is Tusi going live? Anybody? Representative Luda is big into paranormal stuff. Yes, dude. Ryan Graves is his name. Okay, I'll just say this. What Ryan Graves seen, the object he describes, is similar to something that someone actually seen for themselves underground as a power source. That's all I'm going to say. I totally believe Ryan Graves, 100%. Fisher and Tusi and Goldie are both off today. What do you mean they're off? They'll be on. I can't see Tusi taking off. Well, he will. Tusi will go live soon. The guy doesn't stop. Even everybody has a time to rest too. I'm sure Tusi will be live, but you gotta remember right now. Tusi especially, he's gonna come on when there's something important to discuss. Like, that's why I didn't make my title anything special. Because there's really nothing new developing. It's like, we heard about the carrier. There's a couple of comments coming out from the foreign minister of Turkey, the prime minister or whatever. The rhetoric, speculation, Netanyahu's reaction. Has Netanyahu made any public statements about the meeting? I know the president put it on Truth Social. So what is really going on? Nothing really right now. It's kind of quiet, to be honest. It's not quiet out here. All right, hold on. Let me see. And then I'm going to get off the topic. And I want to see if there's any new posts. But it really is. Things are kind of quiet right now. Could you call it calm before the storm? Yes. Have there officially been any meetings scheduled? Not that I know of, between Iran and the United States. You got to remember, if Iran sees that the missile program is going to be part of this, There will be no talks. They do not want to discuss the missile program. And if that's something the president has on the table, then there will be no talks because that's a non-starter. They only want to talk about the nuclear. So, who knows? Meanwhile, more stuff is being moved in. I'm gonna just share the screen. I've showed this video. My friends know this video. It's something I caught with my old camera system above my house. I'm gonna try to stop it, and because it's really fuck. It's so hard to get it. I'm gonna have to rewind. This thing was moving fast. I can't even stop it. That's the best I can do. I could do better. Maybe not. All right. So, at the time, I had cameras outside the house. I was doing sky watching. Had 4 of them. But they were this, I could show you, I don't even know what they are. It was called a Samsung SCB 2000. It was a CCTV camera, security. This is an old system. This is from 2014. It's not like the camera I have now. And I took the IR filter out to make it like low light. I captured this over my house. Now it looks fuzzy and black and white because of the camera itself. It's not a color camera. It's black and white. And the snow on the screen are clouds. So I played the video on my TV and I used my phone to zoom into it so you could see it better, but you'll see it zoom out. But this is what I caught over my house. That's my hand right there holding the camera. I caught this over my house. And it's going like this. Now remember, it looks like it's coming down and then going back up, and then it curves to here, stops for a split second, then it goes like warp speed. But this is happening above in the sky. So even though it looks like it's coming down, I see where it's coming down. It comes back up, it curves, stops for a split second, illuminates, power up, gone. And it's looped. See the curve? See the curve? I'll let it go now. But you could see it on the top where it comes right there. Right there. Right there. Comes down, goes up. This is sick. This is crazy. That was over my house. I don't know what the fuck that is. Excuse my language. So this is a wide, I took the zoom out. You could see it through the clouds up there. See it? Right there. Boom. That thing is high. That's up there. This was in 2014. With this old camera system I had. I'm lucky I caught it at all. Look at the shape. Now, believe me, I've handed this to friends, and everyone came with a different answer. That tells me they don't know what the hell they're talking about. That's what that tells me. One said it's a meteor coming in, breaking up, and then it bounces off the atmosphere. Does that look like a meteor breaking up and bouncing off the atmosphere to you? Does it? Right away, people want to debunk it. Because that's real. This video is real. Bullshit. A Russian UFO researcher that I know said it was part of a program called Terminator that's used in space to take out enemy satellites and other stuff. I was like, wow. Drones in space. I've heard so many explanations for this video clip, and not one of them agreed And there was a few that said it's definitely a UFO, a UAP, whatever. It's crazy. I slowed it down. But the beginning is real speed. This is actual speed zoomed in. Look at that. It stops. It illuminates, brightens up, and gone. Like zoom. That doesn't look like a fucking meteor bouncing off the atmosphere in one formation shape and holding the shape as it zooms away. Give me a break. Now, take this into consideration. If it's a drone, makes sense, could be. It's not manned, and I'll tell you why. The G-forces going from that stop position to that speed, I don't know if that a human can endure that. So I'm just putting this into perspective. Have I had my share of stuff? Yeah. But I need evidence. That's the only evidence I have. It's better than a lot of people what they have. None. But that's real. That ain't fake. So, And you know what makes it sad too? There are so many people that want to be wannabes, that they want to be part of the community, that I would not doubt they make up fucking stories just so they could fit in. I'm serious. You can only imagine. But that goes with the territory. So yeah, I'm gonna have to refresh the chat because it doesn't look like it is. I'm gonna check for any other messages. What time is it? It's early, 11:30. All right, let me go here. So somebody brought, I think it was Dusty. Dusty, you started this whole conversation. So I'll blame you. And I'll bring people on when we change the subject. I mean, I have a Rolodex type thing full of names and people I can contact. They're good, great people. Like my friend Katie Page, Tony Angiola. She's doing the ranch in Colorado. I think it's the Rocky Mountain Ranch. I forget, where she actually was there when she was a child at that place. There's a lot of activity that happens there too. And she's a sweetie. I'll get to her. I'm not calling because she's in Colorado. It's early. Marianne is probably awake with the UAP PD, but I'm not bothering her. I don't want to bother people this early. Look, I woke up Tom. Ma's doing great. She's sleeping. Let's see. It's not a drone. I'm just saying, I have to be skeptical. I have to think of all the possibilities. I just can't jump and I can't discount the possibility that it was a drone. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have no evidence otherwise what that was. I don't. So I have to be really careful. I saw the TR-3B. Who knows? It's the first time I saw Starlink. Oh, yeah. I caught that on a live stream with the good camera. When they were visible here, because they're not so easy to catch. But at the beginning, to see the train, I was like, what the? Starlink. I've seen flock of geese, the formation, like a V, come on the screen. I'm like, what is that? Oh, it's just geese. You get that all the time. The bugs I'm used to, especially in the summer. Oh my God, Miss Soriano. Miss Soriano, I hear you. First time I saw Star, yeah. How's Ma doing? She's good. I'm trying to catch up to your comments. This is you just as much as it's been put to the wayside. I know, but you know, when I get my camera back outside, Dusty, I don't feel like shoveling that snow just to get to the tripod and running the wires. You know, it's a lot of work to get that camera connected. Can we have a chat after Iran is over? Absolutely. Like I said, it's Skywatcher Gaming for a reason. I'm not going to change the name of my channel. It's what I do. Skywatches, UFOs, paranormal, gaming, music. It's what I normally do. But I am totally behind this cause right now. Oh, there's no doubt, Spider. I don't know about 100 years. I would say the 50 number is close, maybe 30 to 50. Yeah, I agree. That's why the president says, you know, there's some things you're not aware of, obviously. You might see some of those things being displayed and used for the first time. It's one thing to test, then it's another thing to use it. I would not be surprised. Especially with this president, I wouldn't be surprised at anything. Well, that was a hobby. The models last year, building them. I hear you, Mr. Soriano. I hear you. The main thing I find strange is too big to be a drone, and drones were as good back in 2015. That's 2014. The main thing I find strange about UFO stuff is so many foreign governments are also talking about aliens now. But which one is going to take the lead to disclose? That's one. Two, is it possible they all know something is impending and they're all talking about it, even in some religious context, because they know something's coming and they can't control once it does come out? They're trying to get ahead of it a little bit? Maybe. Again, we could speculate, because that does seem like something is, they're preparing, because they know it's inevitable where the truth is going to come out, and they got to try to get ahead of it to control, because it's all about control, power, manipulation. They got to, because some people aren't going to react too well if it comes out, if it's true. Like in the last decade, at least, more and more people say it's demons. And it's an evil entity. It's malevolent in nature. Without having any evidence, that's where they're reaching to. You have to wonder why. Because it's being driven from a religious point of view. So you have to think about everything that's going on. Like I always said this, and I've been saying it for years. See that guy back there? Maybe that's a little too tall. But if we became, and this is about evolution of the human species, because a lot of us may not be able to get off world, and we may not be alive to get off world, obviously. But let's just say 100,000 years from now, or 10,000 years from now. I don't know how quick. I think it would take a lot more time than that. If we were to evolve as underground dwellers, because the surface of the earth, it becomes uninhabitable for whatever reason, and we have to go underground. Not as fortunate as the ones that are able to get off world. Would we look like a gray? Lack of sunlight? Eyes adapting to a lack of no sun, darker environment? The brains will evolve. They say our brains will get larger, our heads will get larger. This is some of the speculation science over our evolution. I don't know. But if it's always fascinated me, is it possible we would evolve looking into like a gray hundreds of thousands of years? You know what I mean? So there's so much discussion, like fun. I don't have PlayStation. I have Xbox X and 360. What's going on with that? I believe it's the church that's stopping or slowing down disclosure. We know how powerful the church is. Yeah, it'd be nice to get inside those vaults, right? The Vatican vaults. That alone. Don't underwater fish look kind of like a gray's body? Well, again, lack of sunlight. They're so deep, the pressure. It's different. There's no light down there. Like deep sea fish. It's a good point. I saw a Navy plane enter. Don't buy into the planes entering Iranian airspace. That's spoofing. I got caught up in that about 3-4 weeks ago. And I was like, oh my gosh. I won't let that happen again. The weight I've lost. That's a good thing though, Tammy. You lost all that weight. I lost 70. I feel great. He keeps telling me that he'll be coming home to... Aw, that's sweet. That's sweet. That's sweet that he said that. They used the weapons, yes, against Venezuela. That's why we're not going to tip our hand. We're not going to show our hand. The president knows the hand he has, and he can use it. Like I said, that video that I saw last night on the microwave weapons on naval vessels was fascinating. Look, they're even using the technology on the border to take out Mexican cartel drones. That was what that all was about. The NOTAM in El Paso. They were testing. They're going to put that shit all along the border, which is a great idea. Good on them. Great idea. Exactly. All commercial traffic. There's nothing's unless. Excuse me. Keep an eye on Israel right now. Keep an eye on Israel. Unless, like I said, behind closed doors, Netanyahu has agreed to continue the patience regarding the ballistic missile program. I don't know how much more he can go. And the president is saying, wait. Let's see where this, in the next week or so, let's see how this so-called negotiation goes so we can work together. I don't want you to act unilaterally right now. Will Netanyahu necessarily listen? He might have re-emphasized, well, Mr. President, I understand that you're trying to negotiate a nuclear deal with Iran, but I have to protect the people of my country against existential threat from Iran. And I may have to act unilaterally. And I hope you respect my position. And what are you going to say? No? You know? So, yeah, it was in New Mexico. It was right near the border of New Mexico. Mrs. Soriano. They did the airspace, but yeah, I don't see Netanyahu having much more patience either, to be honest. Oh, let me get rid of that. Oh, let me just get rid of that screen. I still can't get over that, over my house 12 years ago. Cray. All right, let me see what's going on here. Okay, that's just news. That's nothing. I don't know if this is true, but it's coming out of Israel News. Muslim majority Indonesia prepares 8,000 troops for Gaza despite no ties with Israel. Wow, there's a lot of activity going on today. Indonesia is preparing up to 8,000 troops for a possible Gaza mission, despite having no diplomatic ties with Israel. Officials say the force would focus on reconstruction and support for a two-state framework. However, any deployment would require coordination with Israel's military, raising major political and security questions. And another Israeli news outlet put out the same article. All right, I'm scrolling down to see what they put out. Oh, God. The same people who accuse Iranian pro-government rallies of being staged and paid are begging others to bring their non-Iranian friends to the pro-Shah protest and to reward them by taking them to dinner afterwards. Yeah, but they're taking them to dinner. They're not getting paid or threatened to attend. If you don't attend, then this will happen. Are you serious? What? This is so stupid. It really is. It's just so beyond ridiculous already. The nonsense. It really is. It's nonsense. I'm just going to check to see if there's really not much coming out. Yeah, Iran is going to get all their factions together to fight from different fronts, I think. Absolutely. Turkey's trying to create a coalition between the Arab states to push negotiations and telling the United States you have to compromise on the uranium enrichment and allow them to do it to a certain level for civilian purposes, uses. And if you bring missiles up to the table, this is what the foreign minister said. If you bring ballistic missiles, it can start a regional war. This is what the Turkish foreign minister said. It's just ridiculous already. Like I'll say, and our Israeli friends know this, relationships between Israel and Turkey are strained, to say the least. Yeah, that's still crazy that I read about that. Kim Jong-un to officially designate his daughter Kim Joo-ae as North Korea's next leader. That dude looks like he's ready to fall over. He doesn't look like a healthy individual. Turkey says U.S. and Iran are showing flexibility for a nuclear deal. Really? I didn't hear the president say anything about that. Turkey puts themselves in the middle of everything. I swear I can't say it enough. I don't trust Turkey. No way. Remember on Saturday, Goldie reminds everyone, millions of Iranians around the world are preparing to gather February 14th to support Iran's Lion and Sun Revolution. Toronto, LA, Munich, Vancouver, more. Oh my God. Who is this guy? He's not a friend of Israel, I can tell you that. So it's, again, what I'm seeing here is a regurgitation, but oh my God. Look what, yeah, I don't know, again, take this for what it's worth. I don't know if it's true. It's coming from Iran International English. This is disgusting. If this is true, this is disgusting. And I don't understand the executions. This stuff needs attention. Yeah, I agree. All made in Iran. I agree. Turkey needs to stay the fuck out of it. Really. They're not making things, they're just trying to be an influence in the region. They're trying to establish themselves as some power in the region, especially with the Arab countries. That's what this is about from Turkey's perspective. It's a regional power play. In my opinion. Look at this. A 14-year-old Turkmen protester arrested, 14 years old, in the northeastern city of, is under psychological pressure in custody and has been denied full and regular access to his asthma medication. And he was detained on that January 9th night. After being held 3 days in detention facility run by the IRGC intelligence unit, he was transferred to the Juvenile Correction and Rehabilitation Center. Look at these fucks. He suffers from asthma, has not had consistent and full access to his prescribed medication while in custody. This is what the family's saying, raising concerns about his health condition. Family sources say the teenager has been subjected to repeated interrogations during his detention, has faced both psychological and physical pressure. This is sick. This is sick. They added that at the time of his arrest, this is sick. And during questioning, he was denied access to a lawyer or any form of legal representation. This is so fucked up. I can't take it. When I see things like this, it gets me nuts. It gets me nuts. The stories that are coming out from family members and accounts and the videos and everything else, it's just sickening. Now this is interesting. This is a little interesting. This is posted a few minutes ago. The Trump administration covertly sent thousands of Starlink satellite internet terminals into Iran following a deadly crackdown on demonstrations and sweeping internet shutdowns. The Wall Street Journal reported citing U.S. officials. Roughly 6,000 terminals were sprung into the country. The State Department purchased nearly 7,000 terminals in prior months, mostly in January, to help them bypass the internet blackouts. Interesting. Now, I know it's the Wall Street Journal, but he did repost a Wall Street Journal article today about the carriers. Oh, the carrier. So even he uses WSJ. I'm just saying, I'm not a big fan, but... Oh shit, we gotta go to this guy. Hold on. I gotta open up a different window. A U.S. Congressman made a statement, and I'm not following him on X, but I'm gonna follow the trail right now. See if he did. Just because they say it doesn't mean it happened. Which one is him, though? Rep. I got him. Oh, well. What? I am not sure about this. He did repost something. I'm going to share it. This is what they were right. He did say it. Representative Pat Fallon. Iran proxies are now a shadow of their former selves thanks to President Trump's maximum pressure campaign. I would say, with the sanctions and all that, but Israel did a pounding on the proxies. I mean, they're now a shadow of their former selves thanks to President Trump's maximum pressure campaign. The IRGC cables have taken a major hit. And the other soldiers are on the back foot. Khamenei's days as a regional despot are numbered. I don't know about that. Yeah, they've taken a major hit, but Israel had a major role in that. And yes, sanctions help, of course. IRGC's capabilities have taken a major hit. Are you kidding? They rebuilt after the 12th day. Have they taken a major hit? I don't know. And we are hitting targets in Syria, but that's ISIS. Mostly. I'm not so sure how to interpret that. To be honest, what are we minimizing the IRGC's capabilities right now? They've taken a major hit. Tell that to the people of Iran. So, this is coming from Russia's deputy foreign minister. This is posted an hour ago. A new U.S. military operation against Iran cannot be ruled out, Russia's deputy foreign minister said, warning that the Middle East situation remains alarming amid Washington's military deployments. Russia's state news agency TASS reported, quote, these are all quotes now. The situation in the Middle East, where the Americans have deployed huge numbers of attack systems, increasing pressure by the day and threatening to use force, raises some alarms. Another military option there cannot be ruled out. The Americans and their allies in China's geopolitical circle are simultaneously ramping up their military buildup in the Asia-Pacific, which poses risks not only to the People's Republic of China, but also to Russia. That's what that says. Oh, boy. The Ayatollah came out with a video message today. Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, released a new video message from an undisclosed location on Thursday, thanking supporters for their turnout at the February 11th state-organized rallies marking the anniversary of the 1979 revolution. Khamenei said the rallies disappointed enemies. Who were the enemies? So we're the enemies, of course, Israel. Disappointed the enemies who seek to force the Iranian nation into submission. How are you negotiating with somebody that deems you the enemy? Even a statement like that. Screw you. You need to go. Get out of town. Iranian authorities executed 12 people on charges of murder and drug trafficking in prisons, says all the prisons, says Norway-based human rights organization Hengor on Thursday. And then they talk about the repost that he shared on Truth Social about the second carrier to deploy. Turkey's foreign minister has warned that expanding nuclear talks with Iran to include its ballistic missile program and regional activities would risk, meaning the proxies, would risk triggering another war, even as Washington continues to press for a broader agreement. Turkey again. Here goes this talk from the EU, or the European Parliament. Roberta Metsola, the president of the European Parliament, said EU lawmakers has sent a strong message of support to the Iranian people after adopting a resolution on Thursday condemning the Islamic Republic's killing of protesters. A strong, clear, and unwavering message. And this is a quote. A strong, clear, and unwavering message from European Parliament to the people of Iran. We stand with you. We stand with you? What are you doing? You're condemning it? Today, MEPs voted by an overwhelming majority. Well, who were the ones that didn't? Overwhelming majority. Was it unanimous? To demand an immediate end to the Iranian regime's brutal violence and the release of all political prisoners. Sanctions on members of the terrorist IRGC must be fully enforced. No loopholes, no excuses. Iran will be free. Oh my God. Look at this one. Compensation for damages during the recent uprising in Iran should be recovered from protesters, the country's prosecutor general said on Wednesday. Quote, compensation for damages must be taken from the rioters. He also addressed the families of those detained during protests, saying they should rest assured that treatment of those detained is carried out fully within the framework of the law. Dismissing media reports about violations of the detainees' rights. Give me a freaking break. It just makes you sick. My appetite goes away reading this. Iranian Navy commander said yesterday, we monitor the movements of the enemies day and night. What they fear more than anything is the people of Iran. Really? Really? The people of Iran? The vast majority who want you gone or worse? Give me a fucking break. Ooh, I like this. I like it. Italian member of the European Parliament, Isabella Tovaglieri, tore up a picture of Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei in a European Parliament on Wednesday. She accused left-wing parties of a scandalous double standard over Tehran. I'm going to play this video. Let's look at it. It's got the subtitles.
Viva la democrazia e viva la libertà. Il movimento europeo pro Gaza è rimasto a casa di fronte alla brutale repressione del popolo iraniano che lotta per la libertà. È rimasto in silenzio di fronte alle migliaia di sacchi neri di cadaveri, alle esecuzioni di massa degli ayatollah che sono considerati intoccabili solo perché antisionisti e anti-americani. Nessuna flottiglia che salpa, nessun liceo occupato, nessuna manifestazione di piazza, solo una scandalosa doppia morale che antepone l'ideologia ai diritti delle donne e dei giovani iraniani. Sarebbe comico, se non fosse tragico, vedere i sedicenti progressisti, paladini della laicità che hanno combattuto in ogni modo il cristianesimo, coalizzarsi ora con la peggiore dittatura teocratica al mondo. Gli stessi che oggi aprono le porte all'Islam radicale, al velo islamico, alla Sharia, con l'intento molto spesso sbandierato anche di sostituire gli europei e di trasformare l'Europa in una succursale di Teheran. L'Iran brucia nella loro indifferenza, ma non nella nostra. Viva l'Occidente, viva la democrazia e viva la libertà.
Good for her. Good for her. Sometimes you have to wonder. You know what I mean? I mean, what the hell? She's got it. It's good to see people out there still doing this. While the men are cowering and cringing. What really gets me right now is why haven't the people of Iran overwhelmed the IRG sources with numbers and begun taking weapons to use them? Well, after getting slaughtered by the thousands, and they're bringing all kinds of militia and military equipment to the streets, and they're getting slaughtered, it's pretty hard to say, okay, just overwhelm them. It's not even, they'll get slaughtered. This regime will kill them all. No questions asked. They will literally kill them all. I even read something that they would even think about using missiles and hitting cities or towns if they thought they were occupied by rioters. They were actually, that was something that they were actually discussing internally. If they take over a town, should we just take them all out? They're willing to even use missiles on their own people. That is horrible. So it's not just about guys with guns on trucks. They're willing to do whatever it takes to slaughter their own people if they revolt. That's why you have to take out the head of the snake, the IRGC. Then the people have a fighting chance. It's not a fighting chance right now. At all. She does. I didn't want to say that, Luke. She does have I mean, not just automatic weapons, militarized caliber weapons. It's sick. So, oh, he's been active today. He sometimes gets like that. Taking the Islamic State would have a big impact on the Ukraine war. Changing the regime changes almost. There's so many things in the region. Period. I mean, even if you look at it from a strategic point, for Israel, for us, you see how we have problems with certain countries with our bases? We wouldn't have that problem if we had a base in Iran or two. Even from that point. Could you imagine, instead of having IRGC naval vessels, U.S. vessels are in the Persian Gulf in Iran? Instead, they're there, but I'm saying like literally on Iranian territory. Because I'm sure that might be part of the deal too. United States is looking at this economically. A lot of people think it's about the oil. Think about the investment. How the military-industrial complex is a money-making machine. Oh, well, now Iran is producing oil. They become a democratic state. they're going to need to defend themselves. Now, who do you think is going to be one of the people waving their hands to sell their equipment? It's not just, there's so much at stake here. China won't be happy. They're not happy now. Look at the statements coming out of Russia. Russia's definitely not going to be happy. China's definitely not going to be happy. We're closer to their doorstep. Especially, both. He said it in a statement a few days ago. He will immediately recognize the state of Israel. Turkey is freaking out. And the other Arab, because this is not just about Sunni Shia, this is about Israel and the Arab states. 14 has recognized? No. 6 or 7 has recognized the state of Israel. 13 or 14 have not. This has a lot to do with Israel. They're not liking it. There are some countries that have identified and recognized the state of Israel, but a lot of them haven't yet. Do you think they want to see actually peace between Israel and Iran? Or Iran becoming a democratic society, country? They like it the way it is. Some of them. Because they wouldn't mind seeing Israel. Do you think some of them enjoy Israel getting attacked and doing all that? Think about it. This changes so many things in so many ways. How much do you think it's costing the taxpayer right now to move all these assets to the region? How much has it cost for 47 years to have a presence there, a deterrence to the taxpayer, to have all the forces there, and all the things that have happened in between? Servicemen and women sacrificing, losing their lives. It's not just about Iran, it's about the Islamic extremist movement throughout the whole fucking region that has to be removed. This is a big part of it. Same way people complain, oh, the border's open. They're coming into the country. These terrorists, sleeper cells. Where the fuck do you think they're getting the financing and support from? This affects things in so many ways. And especially, utmost, number one, the people of Iran. And yes, they're going to have to play their role at some point, if things fall into place, to take their country back themselves. And they are ready to do so. But this is the president. If things change in Iran and the president has a hand in it, he will go down, regardless if you like him or not, as one of the greatest presidents in the 21st century. Bottom line. And the people of Iran, the people of Israel, the proxies withering away, establishing better relations in the region between the countries themselves. There's so many pros here. The con is the consequences if we do take action. What are the consequences? That's the main thing right now. If we do make a move, I always say this, once we do, there's no turning back, whatever happens. That's the seriousness of it. The actual to do it. Because the last thing people want to see is our servicemen and women, casualties, etc. Who knows? The unknown. And it's all legitimate. But there is an opportunity here right now. We may not have an opportunity with everything that's going on, the economic situation in Iran, the regime pressure from the people, because those things are not going away. Do you allow time to pass and see if the people do rise at some point again, because the living conditions for them are just deplorable. It's just not sustainable. Do we wait? I don't know. These are a lot of questions. And all your comments are legitimate. But you got to think bigger picture too. It's not just narrow. There's a lot on the table here. A lot. Goldie's going on at 115 or like so an hour. No Tusi? You know? No Tusi? I'm surprised. Because it's what? 5:15 in the UK? Spider says, remember when the people tried to overthrow Turkey a couple years back? Same thing because of his dictatorial rules too. Same thing. China lost Venezuelan oil. If they lose Iranian oil, that would be a major loss. Not necessarily, because in an interview, I don't remember what network, someone asked that question, relationship with China and the oil. He would, and Reza Pahlavi said he would have fair trade negotiations with all countries, including China and Russia, because that was a question that was asked to him. Well, you think he's going to just cut them off? He's going to make it fair and balanced. Right now, they're being totally used. And people say, oh, but the United States will end up using them too. And he said that in relation to the oil with China and Russia. He did say it. He was addressed that question. I forgot what outlet it was, but I seen him say that. Oh, it is 5:15 nearly over there. It is all the global buyers too. That's definitely gonna have an impact. Exactly, it's global. Absolutely. But I mean, are we talking during a conflict, after the conflict? You can bet your ass if something goes off, the markets are going to respond. There's no doubt about that. Because of the global, 20% of the oil goes to the Persian Gulf. You better believe it's going to affect the market. And maybe that's what the president is hesitating too. How it affects, because that's all he talks about is gas down to $1.99, below $2. And he knows that if something happens, that's not going to happen anymore, because overall, the markets are going to balloon. They're going to go up. Who knows? It's not just CNN suffering. Oh, I thought you said CNN. I was like, what? It's not just them suffering from oil goes above 100. It's an instant crash to U.S. stock markets. Yes. That's why I said the president has to be concerned about it too. That's an excellent point, Cyber. That is an excellent point. I did not read Tusi's last message. I can't believe Tusi's not going live. I hope he's okay. Yeah, good morning, Mama. I'm live. Everything okay? Okay. I was hoping to eat and watch Tusi. I'm surprised though. Iran, okay, I'm going to read it here now. Iran would help give us a lot of control over Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, even Western China. When you say control, it gives us a great strategic position and less dependency on these other Arab countries when they're not there when we need them. And they know this. They know this. Remember, look at the hundreds of billions of dollars of deals that are made through the military, selling them arms, planes, equipment, etc. It's a money machine. Yeah, UFO addict. We spoke about UFOs about a half hour ago for like an hour. You might have to go back. I don't want to get back into that topic again. No offense, but we went over that already a little bit. Once the stock market crash and we all come into a greater depression, they could begin transitioning into so-called digital currency. That could be another angle. All valid points. Oil price was about 65 earlier. Today it's down to 62 and a half. Certainly, so the market certainly thinks something is up, or there is some rumor that Trump might go taco. Possibly. The markets do respond. They do. So, look. Speculation. Things are kind of quiet, though, right now, to be honest. I think everybody's sitting and waiting to see what the hell happens now. Is there going to be a meeting? Because they were negotiating for another negotiation. So have they agreed to a negotiation? To be meeting again? Probably in Oman again? At Iran's choosing? What does Israel do? Does Israel wait days, weeks, months to address the ballistic missile issue program in Iran? That's where we're at right now, pretty much. Waiting to see. Oh, there might be more posts coming on. There's more. Okay. I didn't hear this yet. Prime Minister Netanyahu before boarding the plane back home. This is the full remarks. I have just completed a short but important visit to Washington, during which I spoke with our great friend, President Trump. We have a close, genuine, and open relationship. The talks covered several topics but focused mainly on the negotiations with Iran. The president believes that the Iranians already understand who they are dealing with. I think the conditions he sets, combined with their understanding that they erred last time by not reaching an agreement, could lead them to agree to terms that allow for a good deal. I want to say clearly, I do not hide my general skepticism about the possibility of reaching any agreement with Iran. However, I made it clear that if an agreement is reached, it must include the important components for us, the State of Israel, and in my opinion, also for the entire international community, not only the nuclear issue, but also ballistic missiles and the Iranian proxies in the region. It was an excellent conversation. Of course, we also touched on Gaza, the entire region, and other general issues. In any case, this is another conversation with a great friend of the State of Israel, a president like no other. Thank you very much. So obviously, he re-emphasized the need to have ballistic missiles and proxy cut off as part of the negotiations. Now, whether that happens or not, I don't know. But we all knew that Netanyahu was going to emphasize that. So I think that anyone could have came to that conclusion. Other than that, that's the latest I'm getting from here. I don't have to follow him. Anyway, let me see what you guys are saying, because I'm going to take a break, eat, since I don't have Tusi now to eat my lunch. I still can't believe Tusi is not going live yet. Can we have a quick look at the drones, Bill? Well, we're looking at flight radar now. remember, don't read too much into all this stuff. I see the Iranian drone up. That cutter drone is always lingering around. This is their training planes. They do this all the time. Germany's moving something in. Looks like the Voyager took off of Cyprus. That's interesting. They got 2 in the air, I think. Let me see. 1, 2. They got 2 tankers in the air. The UK. That could be a Poseidon. It is. Yeah, that's been in the air a lot too. I don't know if that's a Clipper or a C-17. It's a C-17. This looks like another one heading back. Another one heading back. This looks like a big boy coming in. Tanker. That left the UK. More C-17s coming back. I don't know what that is. It's heading to Ramstein, Hungary. And this has been doing a lot of activity with these tankers in the last few days. A lot. What is that ski? Those are helicopters. This is probably Pegasus. Yep. Another one. And another one. They've been busy. What is that? Who is that? Oh, it's Netanyahu. Holy shit. It's Netanyahu. He left this morning. He left DC. That's Netanyahu. Heading home. Right here. There he is. He's over Jersey right now. Ain't that something? We just caught Netanyahu going home. So it's 12 hours. He'll get there. Oh my God. He'll get there at midnight my time. So that's what? He'll get there at 7 in the morning Friday in Israel. If that makes sense. Israel News is also talking about the Turkey stuff. I'm not surprised. Isn't that crazy, Drew? But like I said in the past, Drew, about the missile program, if you were a sovereign country and you know that was a major deterrent, would you put that on the table? Just in general. If you knew that your ballistic missile programs was your deterrent from an enemy, adversary, or anything, would you give it up? I don't think so. I'm just saying from a general practical sense. Not saying, I'm just, in general. Wow, that's funny though, Netanyahu. We caught his plane heading home. That's about a 12-hour trip. So it's 12:30. So that would be midnight my time, but I think it's 7 hours ahead in Israel. So that's like 7 a.m. local time. He'll be landing around that time tomorrow morning, Friday, in Israel. Exactly, Spider. Exactly. I just don't understand the delay. Simply asking them if the missiles and proxies will be included in the next negotiations. They're not. That's the thing. And that makes total sense. But maybe that's why there's hesitation going on right now that there is no scheduled meeting. Because the U.S., and Rubio has said it, the missile program and the proxies is on the table as part of the negotiations. And maybe there won't be another meeting because they're not going to agree to that. They only want to talk about the nuclear. But I mean, like you said, if no, then move away from talking. If yes, hear them one last time. I agree. That's it. One more time. That's it. Either it's on the table, discuss it. If it's not going to be part of anything, then that's it. Over. What is this? It's either on the table or it's not the table. On the table. How do you, if Iran's perspective is we're not going in there to talk about the missile program or the proxies, then what the fuck, what's the sense of talking about a meeting that's not going to happen? Or if you do meet, why can't that be discussed prior? Why does it take a meeting to state that? Look, you're here, we're here. Missiles and proxies is on the table. What, you had to wait till you got to there in person to discuss it with Omanis traveling from room to pass messages between each other? Give me a break. Call the Omani foreign minister and say, listen, you let the Iranians know that in order for us to even travel to Oman again, the missiles and the proxies are going to be part of the discussion. Oh, no? Then that's it. No meeting. Over. What is this? The only thing that makes sense is they're delaying to get more stuff into the area. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. We're still moving assets into the region, including the second carrier, delay as much as we can till we know that we're ready to make that move. That's the only explanation I have that makes sense to me. It's the only one. Because, he even said a good deal. In order for Netanyahu said that they're trying to work out a good deal if Iran agrees to it. So Netanyahu has to know what the president is going into the negotiations with. But he's not going to talk. You know what I mean? He's not going to say much. He definitely doesn't want to upset the president. Once the prime minister gets back on the ground at home, anything can happen. Totally agree. This weekend, there's a 3-day weekend here. Not saying us. All bets are off with Israel. Totally. And they have every right. I highly thought they would do something while he's in the air. Oh, hell no. They're not going to do anything until he lands. John. What? I don't understand, John. Oh, hell no. Tammy, I don't know. All we can do, because, we do have some trolls that, they're spamming and obviously they're here to stir it up. All we can do here is discuss it, have a global community, because it is, to talk about this. And I'm going to tell you, I'm always impressed on the comments that come in because it makes me think. It really does. And that's awesome. And it also shows a global community in support of the Iranian people, but not just the Iranian people, but the people of Israel as well. And what they've been going through for decades because of that regime. Again, remember, if you took that regime out, hypothetically, and let's just say Reza Pahlavi was in charge, or do you think a lot of what's been going on in that region would be going on with Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, etc.? we might be looking at a whole different situation right now. All of this would be non-existent probably. And the loss of life and the suffering. I truly believe if Hamas wasn't in Gaza, the people of Israel and the Palestinians would live side by side in peace. I truly believe that. Now, they might have the disputes on settlement issues, land issues, all the typical things that go on in Israel. I get that. But do you think things would be different if it wasn't for the head of the snake doing what they've been doing for decades? Do you think? I do. I truly believe that. Maybe Trump also knows that and is counting on it. He doesn't want to be blamed. Yes, cyber. Yes. Maybe that's the plan for Israel to make the first move. Or draw Iran into it. Like Israel, because they're watching, that Israel looks like they're showing hints of something, and Iran makes a move. And before they can make the move, we light them up. I don't know. It could all be. It's true. You're right. Someone else shoved their hand in this mess. Whoever it was made us need more time. That's true too. What do we know that China's supplying or Russia's supplying? Maybe we have to be better prepared. There's a lot there right now, but maybe it's not enough. They want to be overwhelming with another carrier group. Like I read that article before all this started going on. Think tanks say that we should have it at one or at two carriers in the region if we were to strike Iran. They said two. And they are right, because now look, a month later after I read that article, here they go, moving a second carrier. The military strategists, they go over this. They know if you want to have an upper hand in this situation, if you're thinking about doing what you got to have all these things in place. Otherwise, the risk goes up. You want to lower the risk, not increase the risk. Commander-in-Chief, Cuba's not nothing to keep an eye on. Over here, definite. Cuba's that's going to collapse real soon. It's already collapsing. That's another to keep an eye on. You're right, Cuba. Drew, like I said, Mill Ops Deep. I was about to sign the greatest deal ever in the history of deals, and then Israel struck, so I had no other option. Exactly, Cyber. He can say that. I was about to sign a deal, negotiate with Iran. I was all ready to go, and there's no deal. Now, bad things will happen. Oh, he may not say it like that. Now it's going to be a lot worse than Midnight Hammer, or whatever. If they already agree, why would Netanyahu personally go to Washington? Exactly. But Netanyahu had a lot of concerns after speaking with Witkoff and Kushner, probably, that he said, okay, I got to go to the president myself. Maybe he didn't like what he heard. And he says, I got to talk to the president myself. I have to, go straight to the source. To me, that signals it's Netanyahu trying to convince Trump. Yep. But you're going to hear a lot of that too. Israel's behind it. Israel's the one that made Trump make the move. Let me tell you something right now. Nobody tells the president what to do. He's going to make his own mind up. Not this president. He'll listen and he'll try and he'll do all these things, but the final decision is his and his to bear. I mean, even with the peace plan and everything else, There's some parties that weren't necessarily agreeing about the 20-point peace plan. Or some of the participants that would be in Gaza itself. Like when Turkey was brought up as being part of it, and I saw that live when the two of them were standing. Netanyahu went, he gave the president a look like, Turkey being part of it on the ground in Gaza, security forces. So it's not like they agree all the time, obviously. Exactly, there's a lot going on that's not being said now. Yeah, and that's another thing, the leaks. You got to worry about the leaks. Great, you're all making great points. And Drew, that's another thing. It wasn't necessarily maybe about the actual negotiations. It was more about the plans of an upcoming strategic attack. They might have been talking about the logistics and planning. And they're talking about that publicly, about a negotiation, an agreement with Iran. But meanwhile, that's the show. But what's really going on is they're actually planning and getting together and going on final discussion details about what could happen in the next days, weeks. It's a great point. All of this could be bluster. It's a cover to what the real intention is. Attack Iran. It's a great point. You all make great points. What's up, J-Ro? So, like I said, there's not, other than we went over for the last few hours, because it's getting close to 1. I'm still surprised Tusi's not going live. Goldie's going live at 1:15 Eastern. Someone mentioned. But just to show you, Netanyahu's on his way home. Right here. He's off of Long Island. Just south of Montauk. That's where I go on vacation. Pretty much, he's right off Montauk. Due south of Montauk. That's Camp Hero. This is Montauk. It's where I go on vacation. Right here. Love it. It's my favorite place. Right there. I actually stay at hotels right on the beach. That's where I go for vacation. I haven't been there in a while because I've been so busy. But I love Montauk. Love it. I miss it. That's the town. This doesn't do it justice. The map. My favorite supermarket is in there. In the town of Montauk. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to go back. I'm actually off. It's over here. Oopsie. There's the lake. Yeah, the lake's there. This is the place I go to. Right here. I miss it. I miss this tremendously. I used to love staying at this hotel right here. Yep, that's my favorite. It went private though. That was my favorite spot to go to stay in Montauk, right there. I'd walk onto the beach, fish. And then my favorite place to stop when I get into Montauk is IGA right here. The supermarket. They make the best antipasta salad I've ever had. And then they have a 7-Eleven across the street, I think. That's new. So yeah, he's due south right now of Montauk. Netanyahu's plane heading home. The Hamptons are down here. If you're not familiar, you ever heard of the Hamptons? Well, that's where it is. But that's my favorite up there. Oh, there's Netanyahu. Going home. He'll be in the air for quite some time. Left DC. Dulles, probably. Ronald Reagan. Did he? Actually, So there you go. Netanyahu's on his way home. Gotta wonder though. I wonder what events he took place or that he was part of. And what's up, Astro? I see you on Rumble. Plum Island, yeah. Did you get your Red Bull yet? No, I'm going out shortly. Is that where the monster? Oh God, the monster. Yes, that was an animal that washed up. See, a lot of rumors come from Plum Island that they were experimenting on animals, and it's an animal that got out and washed up on shore. There's so much that goes on in Montauk. I've been going there since I was born. I love Montauk. Jaws, the movie Jaws, was based on Frank Mundus, who caught at the time, rod and reel, the largest great white shark. He was like, the character was built around him. Though it was filmed up north, Cape Cod, but it really is based on that Montauk. Even Stranger Things. It takes a little bit about Camp Hero and the experiments that were going on in Camp Hero, allegedly, in Montauk. I know, right? A little mouse at the meeting yesterday? Or a fly on the wall? I won't be surprised if Tuesday goes live in hour and 20 because his prior streams say he went live 22 hours ago. Tuesday will be live soon. He's definitely gonna go live at some point. Alexa, what's the weather for today?
It's mostly sunny and 35 degrees right now.
35,
Today's
heat
high
wave.
will be 35 with a
Oh,
low
it's the
of
high.
5. And there's a slight 6% chance of snow this morning.
Didn't happen. At least we're above freezing over here, finally. For 2 days now. It's been brutal. Brutal. Remember, tomorrow's Friday the 13th. Anyway, I'm going to now take a break. Go replenish, eat, take care of some things around the house. Go get my Red Bull, just in case, for the weekend or thereafter. I'm going to definitely, because I'm tired of, even though this mug is beautiful, I like it. I like my mug. Had my first cup of coffee in it this morning. Trude's going to take a shower. Anyway, watch out for Jason. You don't know, at night when I go out to get firewood out of this door, or go out, period. Dusty knows this, because sometimes there are animals out there. Pack of coyotes. Sometimes there's bear, not now, but in the area. Deer, all the known things out there. And it's dark here. There's no city lamps, no lights, nothing. It's dark out there. And it could be quite intimidating. And sometimes I think I'm going to open the door and Jason Voorhees is going to be standing there like, oh shit. Oh my gosh. It still looks like Winter Wonderland over here. I can't wait for this snow to melt. I can't do nothing. It's terrible. I got to charge my rings. I have 3 of them. And 8 other cameras. I have 11 cameras outside. 11. Covers the entire property. Driveway, too. Look at this shit. I mean, if I was to do a Skywatch, because I know we were talking about that earlier, then I'm leaving. My tripod is right there. See my tripod here? I should go out there just to mess around and show you how deep this snow still is. It's got to be over a foot still. I would have to shovel a path to get to that, to set up my camera. I thought it was snowing. It's dripping. It's melting. That's good. It is horrible out there, as you can see. Horrible. Though I got my wheelbarrow out of this, it was stuck. My wheelbarrow was stuck over here, covered with the tarp. I put it here so I can get the firewood and go this way to where the wood is. But yeah, it's not nice here. Not nice. It's winter. I might do it though. Alexa, what's the weather for tonight?
Tonight will be partly cloudy and very cold, with temperatures between 17 and 27 degrees.
You think I want to set up my camera in that cold weather? No way. Not in the mood. Not in the mood. Let me see what this weather looks like for the next few days. Remember, there's a holiday weekend here in the United States. President's Day is Monday. 42 on Saturday. 39, 45, 46, 44, 47. Oh my God, it's going to warm up. Finally. Oh, lots of 40s. Oh, beautiful. 47, 47, 49. Oh my gosh, it's finally going to break. I'm excited. I'm excited. Anyway, guys, what would be my favorite horror movie theme of all time is definitely Halloween. Tubular Bells is up there too, the Exorcist theme. Even Phantasm, the original movie, I like that theme too. There's a few. Anyway, in Wisconsin, we're hitting a heat wave and then it's cooling off again like in a week. Well, we usually get that weather moving east. Original Poltergeist? Wow. In the 60s Monday and Tuesday? Well, I'll take the upper 40s, I will. After dealing with this. It's been freezing here, below freezing for over a month. We haven't reached 32 in like a month. Yesterday was 40, today's 35, then it's going to go into the 40s this weekend. Thank gosh, it's over for now. And plus, remember, we're in mid-February. The sun is starting to come up a little bit. Spring. Like I said, my backyard, I can't wait. This is how I celebrate every year. Then I'm going because I got to go. I got to make phone calls. I got to do some work. It's a tradition for me. If the camera still has a charge, I got to charge my rings. Oh my God. Ugh, looking at it just makes me cringe. So hopefully this snow will melt by March. Because you see my Traeger smoker here? This is how I start my spring officially. With that smoker. It's winterized. It's no pellets in it, nothing. It's clean. On St. Patrick's Day, I make corned beef, smoked corned beef in there. At least 2 of them. And then I have a slicing machine and I make corned beef sandwiches on rye. Maybe sauerkraut, maybe some Swiss cheese, nice good spicy mustard. I'm getting hungry even talking about it. But that's when I open this baby back up. The pool won't be started till April, unfortunately. But that's what I'm waiting for. It's only like a month away. St. Patrick's Day. And Mom goes crazy with the leprechauns and all that. Oh my God. You would think she's Irish. Not kidding. Luke, that's funny. Anyway, you lovelies, I love smoked brisket too. And oh my God, Drew, please stop. I'm starving. I'm sitting here. I've had that cherry pie in front of me for 2 days, but I don't like to eat sugar because I'm on a diet and all that, but that, no good. We've been hovering between 40 and 60 for the last 2 weeks. No snow left. Don't make me jealous, Astro. Anyway, you lovelies, have a great rest of your day, morning, afternoon, night. whatever it is. I mean, for anyone in Australia, it's early in the morning right now. Anyway, have a great one. Be well, be blessed, be safe. I need to go eat and chill out, take care of some stuff, get my Red Bull. Never know when I'm going to need it. I think I'm going to need it soon. Regardless. Anyway, go watch Goldie. Goldie's live in 25 minutes, 20 minutes. Goldie and Ramen. Love to all of you. Prayers for everyone. And I'll see everybody later. I'm going to go eat now. Peace out. See you all later. 2 Season 40? Oh, he is going live. 2C and 40? Oh, what? Look at this. 2C. If you ever watch, which I highly doubt, but you have just made my day again. Because now I get to watch you while I prepare my food. And then today it's going to be lunch with 2C. Usually it's breakfast with 2C. But now it's going to be lunch with 2C. So the timing can't be better to go watch you now while I eat my lunch. Because that's exactly what I do. It's the weirdest thing, the timing. Breakfast with 2C, lunch with 2C, or dinner with 2C. So this worked out perfectly. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Anyway, love to all of you.